In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys 3 easy steps to detail white door jambs to perfection. Now let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you're here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So here is the white door jamb that I'm working on right now. It's a little wet because I've been doing the other door jambs and I got some overspray on it. Now, in the camera, it doesn't look that dirty, and that is because it is not that dirty. Now, there are obviously some specific places where you guys can see some grease buildup and things like that, but this is a maintenance client, and so these door jambs get seen very regularly. Now, door jambs that are white present a challenge in it of themselves because, once again, any sort of like grease, grime, or dirt buildup is going to be very obvious, okay? Just like in here, you can see this is very obvious against the white contrast of the white background, and so anything you miss is going to be very, very easily seen, and that's why white door jambs in particular present a pretty big problem, but if you know the right steps and if you take it just one step at a time, it can actually be simplified a lot. So step number 1 is very easy. I'm gonna take my super clean degreaser diluted 5:1. I'm gonna take my toothbrush and I'm gonna address the door jamb just like I would in the most traditional sense. I'm gonna spray the degreaser. I'm gonna scrub it with my toothbrush. I'm gonna hose it off with water. That's pretty much the first step to really, really nasty door jambs, and that's the first step to a lot of door jambs you might do. Sometimes you can address a door jamb with just a steamer or things like that, but this is probably the most basic way to address and detail door jambs. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna be very liberal with the degreaser. I'm not trying to hold anything back. Really, really soak it, scrub it really well with a toothbrush, and hose it off just like this. So there we go, step number 1 is finished. I totally cleaned it. All the surface dirt came off. All the surface dirt, grease, grime is totally taken care of. But check out what did not come off. So the door jamb is definitely a whole lot cleaner, and maybe some of you would stop here and call this perfection if you're in the beginning detailing world, or maybe this is just how you run your business. I'm sure any customer would be fine with this level of expertise. But once again, this area right here did not come clean. See if I can focus into it. There we go. So we still have dirt, grease, grime build up back there. Now, the issue with dirt like this is that it is not just surface dirt. So I'm rubbing it with my finger really aggressively and it's not going anywhere. Why is that? Because it is it's like grease back there, right? And so a level of that, what needs to be understood is that every door jamb is gonna have a certain level of that because it's part of the grease that actually allows the door and the hinges to move like this without the metal rubbing against each other and getting all caught and kind of ruining the painted surfaces in here. So it's just like these runners down here. There's a certain level of grease that is in there that allows things to move and slide easily. However, when it's caked up against the paint like this right here above the hinges and things like that, that at a level can be taken care of. And so what is my next step? So my next step is to take my VX 5000 steamer. I'm gonna spray some more degreaser in that specific area. I'm gonna take my steamer and see how much the steamer can kind of heat up and melt away in that area. I wanna be careful because, once again, I want a certain level of grease in the door jamb to actually allow things to move well, but I do want it to be visually appealing, and if there's an excess in a certain area, I can take care of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my steamer. Very obviously, I'm just gonna hold the nozzle close to where that grease is. I'm gonna let the steam heat it up, let the steam wash it away, and kind of just see how well that works. So this is step 2. I'll bring you guys in for the finished look. So now here's the finished look after the steamer. You guys can see that that paint that used to have that grease grime that was very obvious right there has been vastly improved. Why is that? Well, because the steam heats it up and actually, you know, kind of pushes it just and breaks it up to where you can mop it up with a microfiber towel. Same thing has happened right back against here. There was a ton of grease grime buildup right there, ton of grease grime buildup above the hinge right there, and that has been totally removed. Now, what is the third step if I really want to get to just absolute perfection? Some of you may have called it, because I use these all the time, but a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser is amazing for areas like this because it really does remove things very quickly. Once again, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos on this, you need to be careful using it on painted surfaces because it will abrade the paint, but with door jambs in particular and white paint in particular combined, I'm not gonna have to polish anything after this. I'm not gonna use it so aggressively where it abrades to a significant level where it's visually obvious. And so what I'm gonna do is actually take my 5:1 2-in-1 super clean degreaser, and I'm gonna spray it on my Mr. Clean Magic Eraser just like this, very simply. Then I'm gonna take this to the door jamb, to any area that still has a bit of streaking or dirt or grease or grime left behind. So this is step 3. So here we go, guys. Here's the finished look. I'll pan down the whole thing for you. Now this is just obviously one part of the door jamb between the actual car and the door, but check that out. It absolutely looks perfected. You really, at least at first glance, unless you get really detailed, you're not gonna see any grease and grime. Now once again, if you get crazy detailed and look in between against the paint behind this hinge, you still will see a little bit. If you look behind this hinge against the paint, you'll see it. But once again, no customer is getting that detailed, and I don't want to remove all of that, because once again, I want some of this to still exist so that I'm not removing things and kind of degreasing things to the point of actually removing something that's necessary for this door to move properly, and then if it becomes removed, it actually starts to damage. So you guys can see that that 3-step process right there has totally perfected this door jamb. It's white, it's, you know, you can't hide anything, but nothing needs to be hidden at this point, because check it out, totally cleaned. I can follow up with some X-Wax and just be perfected. So there you go, guys. That's a quick 3-step process to perfecting white door jambs in particular. One question that I would encourage you guys to ask yourself if you're a pro detailer using this kind of service is my customer paying for this level of service? Because most customers, number one, don't look intently at the door jambs, so they're not really that concerned about how clean the door jambs are. Now, I'm not telling you to skip out and do things, you know, lesser and take people's money, but if the door jambs are just absolutely hammered and you clean them to a good extent, maybe with just a toothbrush, just some degreaser, most people are very satisfied with that. And I would say that most detailers only charge for that. And so you don't need to over deliver to the point where you're losing money, you're spending so much time that, you know, you're making less and less per hour, where it's not profitable. But if your customer is paying, you know, for the high dollar detailing service, for you to do it the perfected way, you know, really spend the time to perfect it, these 3 steps is a really good way to do that. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hook up all that stuff in the YouTube comments below. I always read those, and I'm sure to get back to you guys as fast as I can. And if you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing community, then definitely consider subscribing, because I come out with daily videos just like this on products, tools, strategies, communication skills, business skills, and so much more, all in an effort to help the pro detailers become more successful and profitable in their businesses. And on this channel, I share the strategies that allowed me to take my auto detailing business into a full-time income with only part-time hours. So if you're interested in that, definitely consider subscribing. And of course, as a quick side note, if you would like to buy any of the tools or the products used in this video, whether it be the steamer, the magic erasers, the toothbrush, the super degreaser, I hook up Amazon links in the description box below all of my videos that will take you to the exact product on Amazon. So if you want to purchase anything, definitely use my Amazon links, because it does give this channel a very small commission, but it allows this channel to stay alive so I can continue to give out awesome content on a daily basis just like this. Thank you guys so much for being so involved here in the Wilson Auto Detailing community, and as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video. In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys 3 easy steps to detail white door jambs to perfection. Now let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you're here, and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So here is the white door jamb that I'm working on right now. It's a little wet because I've been doing the other door jambs and I got some overspray on it. Now, in the camera, it doesn't look that dirty, and that is because it is not that dirty. Now, there are obviously some specific places where you guys can see some grease buildup and things like that, but this is a maintenance client, and so these door jambs get seen very regularly. Now, door jambs that are white present a challenge in and of themselves, because once again, any sort of like grease,